Hey, AD. I've been dreaming of saying this for a really long time. Welcome to my apartment. Come on in. I've been here about 2 years now, and it's definitely been a process. I've been collecting pieces since I basically moved in and before that. My dog Neon was a huge factor in choosing this apartment because it's in proximity to a park that is littered with squirrels. If I had to describe the vibe of my apartment in one sentence, it's mine. No, I'm obsessed with nostalgia, and I love looking back and kind of looking how far I've come, how much I've changed, how much I've stayed the same, and this space really allows me to do that. Let's get started! So we're gonna start out in the kitchen. What I love is that the kitchen really is central to the entire apartment. This is my happy place. And I panic bought these this morning on my way back from the gym because I realized I didn't have any fresh fruit or anything fresh in general because I haven't been here in a little bit. So these are my bananas and I'm glad they made it into the final shot. The drawers still need a little bit of organizing, but I'll just kind of walk you through it. My flatware, I went hard and I decided to opt for the Chantaco collection from Prix Forca. They're very deco-y and they weigh about 50,000 pounds each, so they feel very solid. I have more kitchen knives than any human will ever need, and one day they will be organized and put into their sleeves. So any chef watching this would be cringing right now, but they're easy access because I'm a lefty. And then I'm a big beverage guy, so I'm all about rituals, and at night, when I finally stop drinking caffeine, I really get into teas. And so I have a big tea collection here. And then my spice drawer is very chaotic and not organized, but this is very symbolic of my brain. It makes sense to me, but not anyone else. I'm obsessed with sumac. It's kind of floral and citrusy, and it's bright red, and it bleeds beautifully if you mix it with a little bit of oil. So I have that from Edie's Grocer in Greenpoint, which is amazing. And then za'atar, can never get enough. I like to toast it on a pan with some olive oil, bring up the heat really nice and high, and then throw some eggs on there and get those beautiful crispy edges. So another really fun, very cool thing about me is that I'm obsessed with Star Wars. And so my very favorite mug is this one right over here. It's a Stormtrooper. And you can actually fit a lot, and actually we'll do bone broth in here sometimes too, because it's the perfect size. Can I show you inside my fridge? My father is alarmed every time he comes over because he's like, you have more beverages than anyone I've ever seen in my life. Anyone who knows me knows that I'm obsessed with Nando's. I think it's the best fast food ever in the world. And I only enjoy Nando's with my face on it. I also have Nutella as well. And then my freezer is stocked with the most shocking amount of frozen steaks, chicken, chili, soups that I make because I get lazy sometimes. So I cook in large portions and then I kind of freeze everything. Neon is basically my shadow, so she's typically right on the ground, like a little sphinx, staring at me because she knows that she tends to get a treat because I can't help myself. This is her very sensible little Tom Brown piggy bag that has her poop bag dispenser. And then I have her little cookie jar. She's a good girl. She doesn't really do tricks. She sits, she lies down, and she's always pretty. Good girl, gentle, gentle. Other than the kitchen, the living room is my number one favorite spot. This is where I do all of my lounging and relaxing. This was actually originally a 3-bedroom, and I had the wall blown out because I really wanted to have, my dream was always to have a sectional. I know they're controversial to some people, but comfort is number one for me. My designer, Andrew, basically built it custom, so it's modular, it's beautiful. These are my pride and joy. If this place was burning down, I would grab one with each arm. These are oxblood Adne leather chairs that have that beautiful contrast stitching. They're insanely comfortable. I think that they're so beautiful, and they're positioned here on purpose so that they only get used when there's more than 4 or 5 people here. And then my second pride and joy is that little Louise Nevelson piece over there. I've been a big fan of her work forever, and I get to look at it every day. So with Queer Eye, we tend to film in all of these different cities, so I'm away from my home. So when I come back here, I really want it to be a place that's, again, just filled with all of the things that I love that make me comfortable, because often we stay in, different rental homes or like corporate apartments, which are just that. They're very corporate-y and they don't have as much soul as I like to have. And then in the center, this is one of my favorite pieces, the Mangiarotti table. I love that it's not perfectly shaped. The top actually rests on the base, so there are no screws or anything. It weighs about 1,000,000 pounds, and what I love is that it's so solid, you can put your feet up on it. This is a great little ottoman when I'm sitting here and I have guests because I force them to sit in the corner because that's the most comfy spot and Neon loves it as well. I can put my feet up on this. This is Brett Robinson. He does really cool contemporary stuff and that's a Teddy Mohair. I have this, I believe it's the metronome lamp from Apparatus and it's wrapped in suede, which made a lot of sense when I didn't have a dog. But this piece is really beautiful and it gives like a nice little soft light. Behind me, I'm very excited about this. This is my protective baseball bat if anyone ever breaks in. It's actually by a Vancouver and Okanagan artist named Brian Jungen, which is a Rawlings bat that he kind of carved to sort of mimic a totem a little bit, which I think is really cool. This horse is one of artists I really love named Miguel Barracal. If you press on the eyeball and on the balls of the penis, it actually comes apart. So I saw it at the gallery. I thought it was astronomically priced. I'm not gonna say where. And so I went on eBay and I found it for less than 1/10 of the price. They sent it to me in an old briefcase with newspapers from like the 50s and 60s with a book on the instructions on how to make it and a signed drawing of the original, which I think is really cool. As I mentioned, this was actually originally a 3rd bedroom, but I didn't need that and I wanted to have a dining space that is basically books. And so I have a bunch of Peter Beard books because I adore him. This is a really cool piece by a Philly artist named Roberto Lugo. And I just thought it was a unique piece. I'm not too much into pottery, but it really spoke to me and it reminds me of sort of like those Greco-Roman urns that you see at like fairs. This is really exciting. I just got it. It's a Wolfgang Tillmans piece. I love an old ripped t-shirt and I love how carefully it's kind of hanging on the hanger. It just looks like it's about to fall. Kind of like my sanity most of the time. But I'm calm today. There's no overhead lighting in the apartment, so I wanted something that kind of gave a nice soft glow, and I love a classic Noguchi pendant. I love that it's nice soft light, it's not too aggressive. I don't like things to be too bright. This massive photograph, which I really adore, is by an artist named Erwin Olaf. Yes, it's not a little homoerotic and a little Tom Ford's a single manny, but at the same time, apparently, so that's the artist himself. And apparently this was as his mother was passing away and he was very aware of the finiteness of life and he was kind of looking at his own youth. Some people love this, some people don't love it, but I think that's the fun thing about art. Wait until you see the bedroom. I got this old farm table on First Dibs. I probably paid more for shipping than I did for the actual table, but what I love about it is that you don't have to be precious with it. It's sort of like very roughly finished. The bedroom is definitely on the tonal side. I wanted this to be like my peaceful sanctuary. I say this without irony as you look and you probably see one of the more aggressive pieces of art I've ever seen by Simon Johann, and it's 2 lions literally attacking each other. But I think it's stunning and beautiful and it makes me think of those awesome Nat Geo photos. It took a while for my designer to convince me that Loro Piana curtains were the way to go, but they're so soft. And every once in a while I'll come in here and touch them. So I'm a massive fan of George Nakashima. I decided to have a custom pair made, which I waited so long for, but I kind of love, I think this is walnut. It just has like a beautiful natural handle and everything is so nice and clean and the way the wood perfectly fits into it. And then my bed, I wanted something that was low to the ground because I'm always thinking about my dog, and when she gets old, her hips are gonna give out eventually. And so I wanted to keep it nice and low so she can jump up, because she's allowed 30 minutes in bed with me when I'm watching TV, and then she gets off and she sleeps in her own space because she's an independent woman. And then I get to enjoy the bed all by myself. One of my favorite Canadian artists, Kent Monkman. I have these awesome like little drawings that he found in like hieroglyphs of like different creatures and kind of did this like evolution into what they became. So those are really cool because it reminds me that I'm Canadian, because sometimes I forget because I've been in the US for so long. So I know this is all about furniture, but I would just want to give a little shout out. Not paid, I'm just a big fan. This computer right here is called 8 Sleep. It's actually hooked up to the bed. TMI, my chest sweats at night, especially when I get the meat sweats. And so what I do, my room is freezing cold at night. I keep the windows open in the dead of winter. I want my nose to hurt. Like I wanna worry about my health when I wake up in the morning. And the 8 Sleep actually is a mattress cooler. So when I slip in, it's nice and toasty, and then I set it to cold and it progressively gets colder, which Neon does not like, and that's typically when she jumps off. Okay, primary bathroom. This is where I get ready every day. It's definitely very kind of clean, crisp, hotel-y vibes. I didn't want too many things in here. I didn't want any photography. Candles, every single room. Neon likes to protect me at all times. And typically when I'm taking a shower, she likes to sit down right on this little plush situation and she curls up like a little pretzel. She doesn't like to sprawl out. I also do cold plunges. I go to the pharmacy downstairs and I get a whole bunch of bags of ice sometimes. I'm up to 6 minutes, which is really impressive, and apparently it's very good for this autoimmune thing I have called Hashimoto's. The only two pieces of art in here are, again, a nod to one of my favorite things in the world, Star Wars. So Darth Vader, I actually found in a dumpster, and little Chewie here I have from season 1 of Queer Eye when I went to Target, also known as Target, and I stocked up on all kinds of like G.I. Joes and things that make me really happy, that make me nostalgic for my youth. And so I have that as a little memory from when we first started filming. They weren't friends in real life, but they're friends in my bathroom, and that's all that matters. So, the den is basically kind of a multi-purpose room that's used as my office. It's where I take my therapy sessions, I do all my Zooms, and it's also a guest room for when guests come. The rest of the apartment is very light colored. There's a lot of lime plaster. I wanted this to just feel dark and masculine and library-ish, and so it all started with the rug, which is a really cool Tom Brown rug that I got. And then I kind of wanted the Mad Men vibe of an Herman Miller chair. I love wood furniture, and Guilherme Chambron made this awesome, I think it's like 40s or 50s, wooden desk that's L-shaped, and what's nice is that it overlooks outside, so I get a lot of natural sunlight that comes in. Kent Monkman did these handkerchiefs, and then a friend of mine actually pointed out, I thought these were hands praying because I'm innocent, but apparently these are butt plugs, which is really nice when my dad and his girlfriend come stay here and they have questions that I don't really want to answer. Oh, the lightsaber. So yes, I did buy a lightsaber. It has all kinds of different voices and sounds on it. I paid way too much for it. It's not charged right now, otherwise I would give you a demonstration. Maybe next time when you come to the farmhouse that I don't have yet. So my designer, Andrew, designed this as well. He knows that I love Jean Arret. And then I have this beautiful Bertinsky photo. He's a Canadian photographer. The OG Fab Five. Kate McKinnon did it. Kate McKinnon did it because we played Sirens in her podcast. And she sent that to us. And I think Tan has it in his house as well. Usually I have a blanket laid out here because Neon knows she's not allowed on the couch. She has like specific, actually it's this blanket that's here, and she can sit on here and watch me as I do my Zooms until she gets the Zoomies, and then we go to the park. You can get up today. There you go. Isn't she good? She won't jump up until I give her permission. She's a sweet girl. Well, AD, thank you so much for coming, but Neon and I gotta go to the park, so we're gonna ask you to leave. Thanks so much.